Hi everyone, welcome to Bahay Aralan. In this video, we will be talking about sentence structures. Sentence structure shows the order of all the parts in a sentence: subject, predicate, objects, phrases, punctuation, etc. It deals a lot with independent and dependent clauses. The following are the basic sentence structures in English: simple sentence, compound sentence, complex sentence, and compound complex sentence. Let us talk about the simple sentence first. A simple sentence has one independent clause. When we say independent clause, it expresses a complete thought consisting of a subject and a verb. For example, the teachers met in the hall near the library. As you can see, this sentence expresses a complete thought, right? It is clear and understandable. It is complete in itself. There is a subject or the topic of the sentence, which is teachers, and the verb or the action done by the subject, which is met. Nothing is missing, right? And so, this entire sentence is an independent clause. There is only one independent clause, right? That is why it is a simple sentence. Clear? Another example. The speaker delivered an inspiring speech. This is a simple sentence because, again, it has only one independent clause or complete sentence, consisting of a subject, which is speaker, and the verb, which is delivered. Okay? Now, let us have the compound sentence. A compound sentence has two independent clauses joined by a coordinating conjunction. In other words, it has two simple sentences combined by a coordinating conjunction. And what are those coordinating conjunctions? These are the fan boys, or, for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. Let us have some examples. Those brave soldiers fought in the war, and they received medals. As you can notice, this sentence has two independent clauses, or two simple sentences. The first one is, those brave soldiers fought in the war. It expresses a complete thought, right? It has a subject, which is soldiers, and a verb, which is fought. And the other independent clause is, they received medals. It has a subject, which is they, and a verb, which is received. And as you can see, these two independent clauses are joined by a coordinating conjunction and. Clear? Let us have another example. I sent in the application letter, but I forgot to sign it. This is a compound sentence because it has two independent clauses. The first one is, I sent in the application letter. It is a simple sentence. It has a complete thought, and it has a subject, which is I, and a phrasal verb, which is sent in. The other independent clause in the sentence is, I forgot to sign it. It has a subject, which is I, and a verb, which is forgot. And take note that these two independent clauses are joined by a coordinating conjunction, but. Is it understood? You should also take note that two independent clauses may be joined by a semicolon instead of a coordinating conjunction. The sentence formed by them is still a compound sentence. For example, yearbook pictures will be taken tomorrow. Students should dress appropriately. The two independent clauses here are, yearbook pictures will be taken tomorrow, and students should dress appropriately. As you can see, a semicolon is used to join them instead of a coordinating conjunction, so. But the sentence is still a compound sentence. Okay? Now let us move on to the complex sentence. A complex sentence has one independent clause and at least one dependent clause. What do we mean by a dependent clause? Unlike an independent clause, it does not have a complete thought, although it has a subject and a verb, and it is introduced by a subordinating conjunction or a relative pronoun. These are some examples of subordinating conjunctions: after, before, so that, while, when, until, as soon as, although, though, since, if, unless, as. What about relative pronouns? These are who, whose, that, and which. Now, let us have some examples of complex sentences. After I finished my essay, I asked my mother to check it for mistakes. Let us find the dependent clause first. It is after I finished my essay. As you can notice, the thought is not complete. It feels like some information is missing, right? It cannot stand on its own as a complete sentence. That is why it is a dependent clause. Although it has a subject which is I and a verb which is finished. And as you can see, it is introduced by a subordinating conjunction after. What about the remaining clause? It is an independent clause. I asked my mother to check it for mistakes. As you can see, it expresses a complete thought, and it can stand on its own as a complete sentence. Also, it has a subject which is I and a verb which is asked. Another example: we decided to go home early because we were all so tired. Which is the dependent clause in the sentence? It is because we were all so tired. It is introduced by a subordinating conjunction because. It has a subject, we, and a verb, were, a linking verb. And it is not a complete sentence or does not have a complete thought. And the independent clause here is we decided to go home early. It expresses a complete thought. And it has a subject, which is we, and a verb, which is decided. Now let us have the compound complex sentence. A compound complex sentence has at least two independent clauses and at least one dependent clause. It is basically a combination of a compound sentence and a complex sentence. Let us have an example. Though Vlad prefers watching romantic films, he rented the latest spy thriller and he enjoyed it very much. Let us find the two independent clauses first. The first one is he rented the latest spy thriller, and the other one is he enjoyed it very much. As you can see, these clauses here can stand on their own as complete sentences, and they are joined by a coordinating conjunction and. Now let us move on to identifying the dependent clause. The dependent clause is though Vlad prefers watching romantic films. As you can observe, it does not express a complete thought, and it is introduced by a subordinating conjunction, though. Clear? Let us have another example. Junie will do an internship next semester, or she will study abroad because she wants a wider range of experiences before graduation. In this sentence, which do you think are the independent clauses? The first one is Junie will do an internship next semester. And the second one is she will study abroad. And take note that these clauses are joined by a coordinating conjunction, or they can both stand as complete sentences. And the dependent clause is because she wants a wider range of experiences before graduation. It is introduced by a subordinating conjunction because, and it does not express a complete thought. Is everything clear? That being said, that would be all for this video. Thank you for watching.